Hi. Hello, everybody. My name is Christina, and this is Behind the Review. So, today's video, I will be discussing a movie from 2012, and it is Pitch Perfect. I have never seen this movie before, so my very first time watching it was so I can do a review on it for this channel. Before I start, I will say that I watched this movie about 3 weeks ago. I originally had a recording, I recorded a review and a discussion on it literally as soon as the movie was over. However, before I could edit and upload, I somehow lost the recording. I don't know what the heck happened. I don't know. And I may have been able to find it, but for some reason it's no longer supported on my computer. Anyway, it was a big thing. So I said, you know what? It's okay. I don't mind re-recording it. I do have my notes right here. Thank goodness that I still have my notes that I can reference to help me again with the review. Because I initially recorded a review shortly after watching the movie, like literally as soon as the credits were rolling, I set up to do the recording. And I was so excited and so hyped up, like I was ready, that this may be slightly toned down, but because it's been a few weeks. So I think once I actually start talking about it, I might find that energy and that hype again. But from what I remember and my initial feeling and reaction after finishing the movie, I loved it. I really, really loved it. Once it was done, I was like, I know there's another one. I want to watch it right now. But I knew I couldn't because I wanted to try and get, I probably could have, but I wanted to try and get my review and this, or not this recording, but a recording done so that way I could have it. So I have not yet watched number 2. I will get there. But yes, from what I remember, I really, really enjoyed this movie. So yeah, so I just thought I would do that this is, I'm on a slight delay from when I actually watched it. But again, I do have my notes here. So, okay, let us start. Now, in the beginning of the movie, now I can't remember if it's the very first scene, but it's within the first 5 or 10 minutes or something like that. It's a one of the singing competitions, a cappella. No, is it all a cappella? I can't remember. It was a competition, like a contest kind of thing. And my first thought was when the girls walked onto the stage, and I wrote this down, I was like, why are they dressed like flight attendants? Is there a reason behind that? Because when I saw it, I thought maybe it was going to be part of their show, their act or something. But it wasn't. And it was just, I found it odd. Like, it was a strange choice for a costume, like their outfits, if it wasn't really part of their show, part of their act. Although I am glad that their little costumes, their outfit was brought up later in the movie, because someone in a way kind of made a joke about it, thinking that they were going to like a flight attendant class or flight attendant training or something. And I laughed out loud because I was like, yes, thank you. Because I was wondering why they were wearing that too. Because I thought it was very strange. I don't know if that was written in the script that they would be wearing that, or if it was the costume designers. I don't know, and it didn't make sense to me. But I am glad that it was brought up later in the movie. So maybe it was part of the script, or if it wasn't, and that's just how the costumes turned out, and that maybe they rewrote that line. However it went down, thank you. The joke worked, even though I didn't quite understand the costuming, but that's okay. I'm just glad that it came back around and someone pointed it out. Thank you. One, again, still in the beginning of the movie, in that competition, they were singing. What were they singing? Oh, I Saw the Sign. And when I heard them singing it, I immediately thought of Full House and Fuller House, because Jodie Sweetin, Andrea Barber, and Marla Sokoloff sing I Saw the Sign in both Full and Fuller House. And so I immediately thought of them, because that's the only way I know that song, is because of them. So it was almost like a nostalgic kind of thing. And I was like, wait, I know this song. And the only reason why I know the song is because of TV show I grew up with. And then, of course, the nostalgia feeling when they brought it back again in Fuller House with their band Girl Talk. Anyway, so then there is a it could be a background thing. It could be I don't know if you was, I don't know. But anyway, there is a dorm room that oh my gosh, what's his name? I already forgot. It is, I believe, is Ben Platt's character. Ben Platt, I think that's his name. Has a lot of Star Wars. I think he had like what looked like a Death Star wallpaper on one of the walls, and there were, I believe, a lot of action figures, and it was just a lot of Star Wars. I have nothing against Star Wars. I like Star Wars, but it just seemed like a lot. And thankfully, his roommate, who comes into the room, makes a comment, or at least acknowledges that, but I don't remember if there was a line that he actually says about it, but at least he acknowledged. I was like, okay, thank you. I'm not the only one. I'm glad that they see this and they said something about it. So while on this campus, there was, I don't know if it's necessarily a scene, but it was kind of like a sequence where we see a lot of these college students hanging out on campus. I think some of them were playing with remote control cars or drones, or some of them were reading, some of them were playing football or soccer or something. Um, some of them were like chasing each other around the area, kind of like they were in elementary school again. I saw this, and my thought was, or my question is, do students actually really do that on college campuses? Because from my experience, I don't I don't think I ever saw that. Um Maybe because I hardly hung out outside. I was usually in like the cafeteria area, or I was off campus, but I'm just curious. Is that really a thing that people do, or is it just what they show in television and movies? I don't know. I am genuinely curious if that's what they actually do on college campuses. Like, okay, it makes sense that they'd be like having like a study group or whatever where they're doing homework or whatever, like hanging out in the grass area. But playing with like remote control cars and running around like they're 10 years old, is that really a thing? Like, I don't know. Someone please tell me, because I don't have a clue. Um, there is a scene where what's her name? Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick walks into the bathroom for a shower. But we see that she's not the only one in there. But we see two pairs of, we see 4 feet. One happens to be what looks like female feet, and then another pair that looks like male. But those two happen to be in the same shower. If it's with curtains and whatever. And so we see her come into the scene, and I don't know why I got it into my head that it was gonna be some kind of like horror movie kind of thing. And for some reason, it could have been because of like the music or that they were playing in the background that made me feel like that. But then again, I was also, well, of course, she was also singing, and because she was singing, so that's why I was expecting something bad to happen. I don't know why. Maybe I've been listening to too many true crime podcasts. I don't know. But I was also expecting there to be a guy that sneaks up behind her or beside her, like sneaks up on her basically to unintentionally scare her, I guess. But it wasn't. And it totally caught me by surprise that it was oh my gosh, what's her name? Brittany Snow? Brittany Snow. The girl from The Pacifier with Vin Diesel. She was the oldest child. But yeah, I'm like, that wasn't creepy at all. I was like, I know you heard her singing, but did you have to approach her then and scare the crap out of her and me at the same time? Like, really? But yeah, it took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that. Nice little twist. Now, during the auditions for the girls a cappella group, Anna Kendrick is doing like the cups thing. I don't know what that thing is actually called. Is it the cup song? Is it the cup game? Is it I've seen it done. I don't think I actually ever knew what the actual name was called, where she's like doing the clapping thing and drumming on the cup and whatever, and she was singing at the same time. Yeah, I really don't know what the heck that's called. Anyway, I thought she did a great job because if that were me, that would have taken a lot of concentration, because not only do I have to be drumming the right rhythms and all that clapping and all that stuff, but then I have to sing on top of that. Holy crap, man. If I had to do, I'm sure there were rehearsals and such, but I'm like, if that were me, I don't know if I could have done it. So hats off to Anna. It was, wow, yeah, I mean, whoa, man. Okay, and okay, so now that the auditions are done, they now find out if they've been accepted into the a cappella group. And so when they were doing their initiation ceremony thing, whatever you want to call it, and they have to do the oath when they do the little swear-in thing, I laughed because I was expecting something that never came. And that's probably just my old soul coming out, because when they had to do like the swear in, and you have to repeat repeat after what the leader says. And so when she says, "I sing your name," I got it into my head, and I guess deep down inside, I was hoping that they would do that old joke where you literally repeat what that person just said. And I was waiting for it. And then when they did actually sing their name, I laughed, but at the same time I was a little disappointed that they didn't do that joke that I was waiting for. Well, maybe that was the intention. I don't know. Maybe they did it to throw people like me off that were waiting for that joke that never came. I don't know. I really don't know. But I mean, it was still funny, but at the same time, I was just, a part of me was like, oh man, I kind of missed that they didn't do that joke. But again, that could just be me because I have an old soul. I love older movies, older music, older, like, what I guess I would call classic movies and classic TV shows. So don't be surprised if in the future I do a lot of movies that are from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Because that's what I like. So I am actually doing my best to actually try to find more modern, newer movies from like the 2000s, 90s, 2000s, because I feel like maybe more people have seen those. But at the same time, if I do these older movies and I give my review, maybe that'll get people to watch them. Who knows? We'll see. But I have noticed, like, looking at my list of movies, a lot of my movies are from like the 70s and 80s. Because it's a list of movies that I have wanted to watch but have not yet watched. Anyway, sorry, I got off topic. Anyway, so back to the movie. So I would say 30 minutes in, maybe not even 30 minutes in, I could not help myself. I found myself singing along. I mean, it was, how can you not? It was so catchy, and I was like, oh, it's music. I like music. I have a music background. That it was hard not to sing along. Now, if I actually had watched that in the movies, I probably still would have been dancing, but I probably wouldn't have been singing out loud like I was as I'm watching here at home. Um, but it's fun. Yeah, but so not gonna lie, I was singing along to the majority of the songs and the music, whether it be the stuff that they were singing in the movie, or if it was just like the music that was added in post production. Um, I do have another question, and this is going to be really more for the people who have seen the movie The Breakfast Club. I have seen The Breakfast Club. I like The Breakfast Club. But my question is, why was Anna Kendrick crying when watching The Breakfast Club? Like, I think she was crying at the end of the movie. I don't think I've ever cried watching that movie, and I'm usually a big crier, like, when it comes to certain things. Um, but I didn't quite understand why she was crying. There could be a reason that maybe she was connecting to something or someone in the movie that it just got to her, which I can understand. But I'm just trying to think. I was like, what could have what possibly could have, I don't know. So I'm just, for those of you who have seen the movie, um if you would like to share your theory on why her character was crying, I am all ears. Um but yeah, I mean, I know there's one scene that gets in the Breakfast Club that gets pretty intense and emotional. And for that scene, I can totally understand tearing up and crying for, because I might have teared up but not necessarily cried, or like I can feel their pain, their I could almost in a sense feel them, or at least I could understand them on some level. Like I felt bad for them. Um but anyway, I'll save that for another time. I'll I'll talk about that movie. Um but anyway, yeah, I was just curious on why she was crying at the Breakfast Club. Um so again, with the music throughout the movie, not only was I singing along to a lot of it, I was sitting here and dancing in my seat. Like I'm sitting here, I had my headphones on, watching the movie, listening to the music, and I feel like I was jamming out, I was rocking out, I was like, I was in it. I don't normally talk like that. What am I doing? Like, no, I was in it. I was enjoying it. I was having a great time. Like it in a way it almost made me feel like I was part of that environment kind of thing. Like it almost made me feel like I was there, even though I know I wasn't. Um so toward the end of the movie, when they're at the competition, whatever you want to call it, um the the guys a cappella group, the treble makers, um I really liked how they brought that boy band feel. I like boy bands. I and I do like the Backstreet Boys. I do like NSYNC too, but if I had to pick a boy band, I'm 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 a Backstreet Boys kind of girl. So, um, but yeah, I did like that feel, like some of their choreography and stuff, that it made me think of boy bands And I really liked it. I thought that was very clever. And yeah. And what else? And did we really end on a cliffhanger? I mean, seriously. Because I got to the end, they're getting ready to do a whole new set of auditions because I'm assuming it's a brand new school year. And you left me hanging. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Do you end it like that and leave it up to interpretation? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Or do we actually pick up in Pitch Perfect 2 with that and we find out? I don't know. Don't tell me. I do not like spoilers. But yes, I just like, I was like, really? Oh man, they left me hanging. I'm not a huge fan of cliffhangers, but I understand why it's done. It's because people like me who want an answer and they want to know what happens next, it's gonna get them to come back to watch the next one. But wow, man. Was it really a cliffhanger? Who knows? I guess I'll find out once I watch the second one. But yes, overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Some people were surprised that I had never seen this movie before. So when I told them that I watched it for the very first time, they were surprised. And then when I said that I liked it and really didn't share too much more, they're like, I figured you would. I was like, yep, I really did enjoy it. I would totally watch it again. I think what I'll do is, just for my own sanity, I will watch Pitch Perfect again right before I watch the second one. Just to refresh my memory and if that was a cliffhanger at the end, then and it continues on to the next one, then I'll have a better understanding, and that way it's not so much of a gap, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, thank goodness for my notes, because then I wouldn't have remembered a whole lot. So that's all I've got for Pitch Perfect. If you liked this video and you want to see more, remember to click like and subscribe to the channel so you get notified whenever there are new videos that come out. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. If you have answers to any of my questions out of my curiosity, leave them in the comments. Sorry, camera cut out. One thing I don't do is I don't do horror movies. I'm sorry. I don't like that feeling of being scared. I don't like that sense of that feeling of anxiety and that I don't like that feeling. So sorry. Again, sorry. So if you have suggestions on action adventure, comedy, children, family, sci-fi, I mean, leave them in the in the comments, and I will add them to my list. And I look forward to seeing what you guys have for me, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye. Hi. Hello, everybody.